If you're in the market for a new bike, but don't want to spend $40,000 on a carbon-clad hyperbike or $30,000 on a touring rig with an engine large enough for a mid-size sedan, don't worry, we've got you covered. These are our picks for the best new motorcycles under $10,000. Coming in at number 10 is the Royal Enfield Super Meteor 650. While most of the bikes on this list are fighting over spec sheets and lap times, the Super Meteor is strictly about the cruising experience. For $7,899, you get a legitimate cruiser silhouette, a massive feeling 4.1-gallon teardrop tank, and that soulful air oil-cooled parallel twin. It's not fast, making about 47 horsepower, but the build quality is on a level we've never seen from Royal Enfield before, featuring all-metal switchgear and a premium finish. If you want a classic, relaxed cruiser that looks like it costs $15,000 but doesn't empty your wallet, this is the best entry point on the market. At number 9, we have the Triumph Speed Twin 900. If you care more about metal finishes and heritage than lap times, this is your bike. Triumph is the master of hiding modern tech, like ride-by-wire and traction control, behind a facade of 1960s retro styling. It puts out a torque-rich 64 horsepower that feels punchy in the city, even if it runs out of breath on the highway. It's polite, accessible, and one of the best-looking bikes on this entire list. You're paying for the Triumph badge and build quality, and for many, that's worth every penny of the $9,895 asking price. Number 8 is the emotional choice, the Kawasaki ZX-4R. On paper, spending over $9,000 for a 400 cubic centimeter motorcycle makes zero sense. But this isn't about logic, it's about that 16,000 RPM redline. This is the only modern bike that lets you experience that old-school Formula One scream without breaking the speed limit in first gear. It handles like a race bike and sounds like a fighter jet. Just be warned, it has very little torque down low, so you have to work for the power. It's a niche toy for enthusiasts, not a practical commuter, which is why it sits here at number 8. Punching way above its weight class at number 7 is the Aprilia RS457. This bike is a problem for other manufacturers because it brings an aluminum twin-spar frame and sophisticated electronics to the sub-$7,000 price point. It feels like a mini superbike, not a budget commuter. With nearly 48 horsepower and razor-sharp handling, it's arguably the best tool for learning track skills or carving canyons without overwhelming yourself. Reliability on these new Indian-built Aprilias is still being proven, but for pure smiles per dollar and cool factor, it is absolutely crushing the beginner segment right now. At number 6 is the newly updated Yamaha R7. For years, we loved the chassis but hated the lack of tech. For 2026, Yamaha listened. They've added a factory quick shifter, cruise control, and a proper electronics suite to this CP2 platform. It retains that ultra-slim, aggressive riding position that makes you feel like a MotoGP racer, but now it has the brains to match the looks. It's still not the most powerful bike, but with Yamaha's reliability and these new features, it reclaims its spot as the go-to middleweight sport bike for the real world, all for $9,399. Cracking the top 5 is the Honda Rebel 1100. This is the bike that embarrasses traditional cruisers. By stuffing the 1,084 cubic centimeters parallel twin from the Africa Twin into a low-slung chassis, Honda created a cruiser that actually handles and pulls hard, with nearly 90 horsepower on tap. You get ride modes, wheelie control, and Honda reliability for $9,699. It might not have the sound of a Harley, but it will leave one in the dust at a stoplight. If you want a cruiser that rides like a naked sport bike, this is the one to buy. Number 4 is the best value in the adventure market, period. The Honda Transalp. For $9,999, you are getting a legitimate 90-horsepower adventure bike that can tour cross-country or tackle fire roads. It uses the same brilliant engine as the Hornet, meaning it's thrilling on the street, but tractable in the dirt. Yes, Honda cut some corners with tube-type tires and non-adjustable suspension to hit this price, but this bike is still very capable. It is the ultimate do-it-all motorcycle for the budget-conscious explorer. Taking the bronze medal at number 3 is the Suzuki GSX-4R. This bike is a masterclass in balance. It's not the fastest nor the lightest, but it is the best to live with every single day. The suspension damping is excellent, the ergonomics are comfortable enough for touring, but sporty enough for the track, and that 776cc engine is a torque monster. It feels like a much more expensive motorcycle than its $9,699 price tag suggests. While others on this list have sharper edges, the Suzuki is just right everywhere. Just missing the top spot is the Honda Hornet 750. This bike shouldn't exist. Honda is selling a 90-horsepower, lightweight, agile sport naked for exactly $7,999. That is awesome math. It's lighter than the Suzuki and more powerful than the Yamaha. It's a wheelie machine that is reliable, cheap to insure, and now features Honda's e-clutch tech. It proves you don't need to spend $15,000 to have a thrilling motorcycle. For its sheer bang-for-buck ratio, the Hornet 750 is one of the best bikes you can buy at any price. But the number 1 motorcycle under $10,000 has to be the all-new for 2026 Triumph Trident 800. Triumph dropped a bomb by pricing this at $9,995. You're getting a 113-horsepower triple-cylinder engine. That's 20 to 30 horsepower more than almost everything else in this class. It replaces the Street Triple R, offering premium Showa suspension and that addictive triple-cylinder howl. If your priority is pure performance and premium components, this is the best bike you can buy for the money. Nothing else under $10,000 offers as much quality and performance for the price. It just goes to show that the $10,000 mark is still a sweet spot for innovation and pure riding fun. If you're in the market for some new gear to go with your new machine, be sure to check the description below for links to all of our favorite riding gear. Thanks for watching. Hit that subscribe button if you found this helpful, and we'll see you in the next one.